service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And good morning to all our South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined live and in studio by my co-host today, Tracy Grady.
Good morning, South Shore.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, 8 o'clock.
Good morning, 8 o'clock. Oh yeah, it comes pretty fast when you go to bed late on Friday.
You roll right up like, whoa, okay, it's 7:15. I got to get up.
I know.
Get moving.
I know. Sharon's lucky I take a shower on Saturday mornings because it's a little early. Yeah. But yes, you are joining me live and in studio. And we're actually going to have a couple callers today. But before we get into our callers and sort of what we're talking about today, in case for some reason somebody hasn't caught you on the show before, which would be a crime in my book.
Yes.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe.
Why don't you reintroduce yourselves to everybody?
Good morning. I am Tracy Grady, part of the Grady team here at Boston Connect Real Estate. My husband, Jim, and I sell real estate together. We've been doing it for about 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah. It's got to be longer than that, though, because I've been here for 9 and you were here.
Wow, so I am in my 10. Yeah,
almost 10. Yeah,
I think 2016. Yeah,
when you were like
10.
7 or 8, I was like, I don't remember being here without you. So that's wrong.
You're right. So it's almost 10. Wow, they say
time flies when you're having fun.
Clearly, no.
Or when you don't know what day it is.
Yeah, that's kind of what today is like. I woke up this morning like, oh, I feel like I have something to do today. Oh, yeah, radio show. Yeah, okay. Then the alarm goes off, and I'm like, yep, okay, I'm good. I'm on board.
Yeah,
I'm on board. Yep, we sell real estate here, mostly on the South Shore, but we'll pretty much go anywhere. We do the Cape, and we just closed on a house in Bourne the other day, which was really nice, near the canal. That was a really cute house, actually. It was really nice. Anyway, we do a lot of new construction. We have some new construction listings, and so we tend to do a lot of new construction.
Yeah. Which we're going to be talking about today. Yeah. You have 2 listings. I feel like I'm going to call the show like the humble brag.
Humble brag.
Yeah, we're going to humbly brag today. So we are a real estate show, so we're going to be talking all about real estate, and we love to keep it real with you guys. And we're just going to be discussing what's going on. I'm sure you get this question every day of your life. I get this question every day of my life. Anybody who knows what I do full time working here at Boston Connect Real Estate, everyone always asks, how's the market?
How's the market?
What's going on in real estate?
Yeah, so how's the market? How's it going?
It's just such a loaded question. Like, would you ask a doctor, like, oh, what would you ask a doctor?
How did that appendectomy go?
Yeah.
So how's business?
Yeah, how's business for you?
Everybody sick?
How is business?
How's the sick numbers? Are they up?
The next doctor I come across, I'm going to ask, how's business? How's business going for you?
Any broken bones this week?
Yeah,
just
see what their reaction
What's the market like? Is it broken bones? Is it illness, disease?
Yeah.
What's going
on? What's going through the hospital now?
Whooping cough, measles. How about the measles, huh? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard there's measles places right now. Sharon said that there was measles in Texas or something.
Oh.
Yeah,
no, it's been on the news. Yeah, that measles and whooping cough is bad.
Oh, whooping
cough. Yeah, that would be bad. I can't even imagine. No.
I can barely take bronchitis. I can't take anything more.
I have had a head cold, because you know how we digress.
A little,
This is week like 3 though. Like I actually was coughing, like really badly coughing. if anybody didn't know, I work at the town the town of Hanover now in the zoning and planning office. I had I can't go in. I can't stop coughing. I cannot spread my germs.
Have you gone to see a doctor?
No.
See how their business is?
No, I haven't seen.
You should give them your business.
I should give them my business and say, "Hey, how's the market going? I got this thing." Like,
yeah, I know when I do have my bronchitis, which happens often, and I have my coughing and my sneezing and everything, and Sharon will just be like, "Okay, it's time to go now. It's time to go to the doctor now," because I push it. I wait until the last minute because I'm like, I know what they're gonna say.
Yeah, it's the same. I just feel like it's just a head cold. I don't feel bad. I mean, I did feel bad in the beginning, but then it's just a lingering.
Yeah.
And now I don't know if it's allergies because everything you see, it's like allergy, and everybody's like, "Oh, it sounds like allergies." I'm like,
well, it's interesting because I always sound raspy or like nasally anyways, but I switched my allergy medicine and I feel so much better.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe you just got an immune
like
to the one you were taking.
Usually when I take my allergy medicine at like late at night, usually like around 9 o'clock or so, is I get really congested and stuffed, and I haven't since I switched my medicine. So I think it's working.
You found a new one.
Yeah. Well, it's the CVS brand.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes
I
always go for the.
Don't go with the fancy logos.
Don't go with the fancy logos and the expensive meds.
Anyways, like I said, this is a radio show about real estate. But everyone knows and everyone loves you. I mean, come on.
Love coming here. It's so much fun.
And I always know that you're going to say yes. I asked you yesterday. I said, "Hey, you want to do the radio show with me tomorrow?" And by the way, we have no agenda.
Yeah. So this could go Wild West at any moment.
The past couple shows you've been on, I've been like, "Do you want to do the radio show with me?" I have an agenda.
Yep. I'm not sure that makes me want to do it. I'm like, "Oh, we have an agenda."
We have an agenda.
I like when we start to digress and talk about different things. And
yeah. But like I said, we're going to keep it real with you guys, and we want to sort of talk about what's going on. And like I said, we get this question every day of our lives. What's going on in the market? So I'm going to ask you, and you can tell everybody what your response would be. What do you think is going on in the market? What's going on in the Grady team's world?
Well, we have a couple of listings right now. One is a brand new construction, which I think is priced really, really aggressively well if somebody who's looking for new construction. It is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath colonial. Beautiful deck on a beautiful side lot. Like, this is like that piece of land that's really, you don't see that often anymore. Everybody always has land that, like, people would used to come to me at the building department. I used to break their hearts. They'd be like, "My grandmother passed this piece of land down to me, and she always said that it could be built on." And then you look at it and you realize it's completely landlocked. It has no access. No. And they're like,
it has a stream running through it. Like, it has turtles.
You throw it up on the map that now can tell you whether you're in a FEMA flood zone or you have wetlands on your property. And when it goes blue all over the property, you're like, no, that's not buildable. That's conservation land and you can't build on it. Heartbreaking, because they look at you like, "But this was going to be my retirement money." I'm like, it has no access to the street. How did you actually think you're going to go
by helicopter
across your neighbor's property to get to? No, not going to happen. So anyways, but this is a lovely piece of land right off of State Street in Hanson. There's going to be 3 houses built. One is an existing house that's going to be coming down. That'll be the last one. And then this one that's it's pretty much built, and the finish work is getting done right now.
Yeah.
$899.
Wow.
$899 for new construction. And it is really well done. Jay Kennedy is the builder. He is a wonderful builder.
Are you wearing his hat? Is that for him?
No, this is the Kennedy Space Center.
Oh, I didn't even see the NASA. I just see Kennedy. So I was like, "Oh, are you wearing his hat?" No, he doesn't work for NASA.
Jay does not work for NASA. I'm sorry. No, he's a local guy.
Oopsies.
He commutes to Florida. Oh, goodness.
That's funny.
And we've had some showings on it. We've had some agents come in and preview it for their clients. But so I'm going to say, and then we have a beautiful home in Hanover that's on the market. Great neighbors.
Great neighbors.
Because they would be
neighbors.
Can I tell my story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's tell the story.
Yeah.
This is the best story ever. So our neighbors are selling their house right next door to us. And it's very convenient for Jim and I to do a showing.
Yeah.
So we scheduled a showing for last Friday afternoon. We always do a burning pile in the yard. Every year we add in, the things that are left over, like the dead Christmas tree and everything.
Yeah.
And we got a burning permit. We called the fire station in the morning, and we got a burning permit to burn. You're good to go. We're good. So we burn our pile down. We are literally down to like a pile that is slightly burning at like a foot wide, maybe. So Jim says, well, I've been out by the fire all day. I'm going to go change my shirt. I'm going to run upstairs. I'll come back down and we'll go over and we'll do the showing right next door. So now it's like 10 past 4, showing's at 4:30. Jim comes downstairs, looks out in the backyard. Oh my God, the entire backyard flashed over. It caught. The wind picked up the fire, burnt the leaves all the way down the back of our yard into our neighbor's yard where we're having the showing. All the way over. I mean, it is flashed over. So there's Jim and I with the garden hoses trying to put it out. He's like, this is not going to work. Call 911. Never called 911 in my life. I'm like, are you serious right now? He's like, call 911. Okay. So I call 911.
Oh my God.
Fire truck was there in under a minute. Thank you, town of Hanover. Unbelievable response. Luckily, they were filling it up at the pump, at the gas pump, less than a mile away. Heard the call come in.
What a coincidence.
One of my son Colin's best friend hops off the truck. I'm like, oh, hi, Ryan. He's like, oh, the Grady's again. Yep, you guys, you lit your backyard on fire. Yes, we did. Pumper truck pulls in. Not enough water in the pumper truck, so another truck's got to come. We now have 5 trucks on the street, 12 firemen, and the people show up with their child and their agent to look at the house. I'm like, you cannot write stories like that.
Oh, and by the way, I live next door and I set my
That's what I said. I'm like, neighbors set their neighbors set their backyard on fire. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, we are their neighbors. We are the ones who set the house on fire.
What did they say?
They were the nicest people. They had a little girl named Evelyn. She was adorable.
Oh, I love that name.
So, I mean, she was like, oh, fire trucks. This is great.
Yeah.
They were they totally understood. I'm like, look, this is going to be your tax dollars at work if you live in the town of Hanover. They do a wonderful job.
And they were here in less than a minute.
They were here in less than a minute, but it was like one of those experiences that as an agent, you're like, you can't write stuff like that. That's going in my book as one of my best.
What'd you say? Your sales are on fire?
My sales are on fire.
What did your clients say?
Oh,
were they like,
God.
oh,
well,
my
they
gosh.
were there. Yep. So our friends, our neighbors next door they were at somebody else's house, just gonna spend some time down the street for a little bit while we did the showing. So I texted him like, hey, I may have lit your house on fire by mistake. And he thought I was kidding. Totally thought I was kidding. Never even saw the truck. Oh, my watch just fell off. Never even saw the truck come down the street. So all of a sudden he comes walking down. He's like, I thought you were kidding. I'm like, no, I'm serious. There's 5 fire trucks here and we're going to show your house. So it was just hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, they did not purchase the home. They found another house. But I thought, wow, this is going to be the best story. They have to buy it because every time somebody comes like, hey, when did you buy this house? Well, the first time we saw it, the whole backyard was on fire. Like, well, that's a great story. That is a great story. But unfortunately, it did not happen. So, which is kind of the prelude.
This deal is hot. Don't let it cool down.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. No, I just couldn't even believe
a fire sale.
Yeah, I've been telling the story at the bar all week because, as we all know, we both work at Christina's and waitress, bartender.
Yeah.
So, I've been telling. I'm
sure everyone is like, oh my gosh.
Only you, Tracy, would that happen to?
And a lot of our customers know your clients too. They come in, so it's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. I'm like, I don't know what to, I just kept shaking my head. Like, I'm so sorry. It just didn't seem like that was going to go that way, but the wind did go. It went from a non-windy day at all. And then all of a sudden, like gusts, like 25, 30 miles an hour, like a front came through and it just picked that fire up. So it does happen way faster than you think it's going to happen.
Yeah. So be sure to watch your fire.
Watch your fire. We had a hose and we had a permit, but we did have the hose out there. But at that point, the hose wasn't going to go because it just took off down.
That's crazy.
Took off down the path. So
and that's never happened to you guys.
No.
And how long have you been there? 25, 26 years?
And we do a fire every year. And we're usually out, but this one had gotten down to be so small, Jim. And I think our thought was we'll show the house and then we'll just put water on it and have it be done. We just waited like 15 minutes too long to do that. But
it's like when people go to bed with like they had a fire, like a wood burning fire in their house, and they like go to bed before it's completely out. I'd be a nervous wreck.
Yeah, no, No.
I'd be a nervous wreck. I don't know how people do that.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yep. So
Okay,
in the
so
beginning, so talking about the
yeah,
market.
so talk about sort of putting this particular house on the market.
Yep.
What was your thought process, and
So
how has it sort of changed right now?
yeah, so the sellers had decided that they wanted to put their house on the market. They didn't really want to do a lot to it. They had kind of already made up their mind. Like, it was a spur of the moment decision, but they had found a lovely place that they decided that, at this point in our lives, and we're Jim and I getting to this point, so we're almost in the same position as they are, where your house is really your big amount of money. It's going to be, I call it your nut. That's the money you're going to have. It's really your retirement money. So before you can decide, do I want to move to Florida? Do I want to go to North Carolina? Do I want to rent? You need to sell that big piece of property so that you have money to move on to the next stage. So, and this is what they decided to do. And they found a place that they really liked, that they wanted to rent. And they're like, look, we're done. We don't really want to do a lot more to it. Somebody else can take it from here. It's a beautiful home.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a 4-bedroom colonial. It has a primary suite on the first floor with a bath and a primary suite on the second floor with a bath. Beautiful pool house out back, lovely pool area in the back, on a wonderful street with neighbors who tend to light your backyard on fire. But I mean, we've been there for over, so it's a 20-year plus neighborhood. So I mean, the houses are, at that point right now where they're going to need a little bit of work here and there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
which is understandable.
Yeah. I mean, when you're getting into the 25-year-old house, your roof is still pretty good because it's an architectural roof. So those are usually good for like 50 years. But sometimes the wood can get a little tired. But when you're done and you're mentally like, no, we're done. We don't really want to do a lot more to this house. We want to move on. So, and you use the market to gauge where you should be price-wise. So Hanover, pretty desirable market, lots of colonials. So there's plenty of things that you can base your price on. So we based our price on what the market looked like at the time. And they were like, yeah, we don't really want to do a lot of work to it. Well, unfortunately, we haven't had any offers. So now we're in a pivot type of a situation where, okay, well, the market kind of dictated 3 months ago there was only one house on the market in Hanover.
Yeah.
Now there are 10 houses on the
market.
market.
I remember you calling me and saying, hey, can I have a little bit of advice? Like, there's absolutely nothing on. And I was like, put it on.
Put it on. You really got to get it on. So we decided to put it on the market. So they had a vacation planned. We had to get our photographer in. So by the time we put it on the market, unfortunately, there was no longer 0 houses on the market. There were more houses on the market. So now we have competition. So, and a few of the other houses had done kind of more of the prep work to be ready. One of them had done an unbelievable amount of prep work. I think they had been planning for over a year for the amount of work that they had done to the house. So, and we were basing our price of our house based off of that house, which in turn went on my opinion, on the low side. Right. Which kind of skews the numbers a little bit. Yeah. But you know what? And then we had a conversation with that agent. She's like, well, it's a starting point. If you want to offer more, go right ahead and offer more. And they did. More.
But the thing is that when you're putting it on the market, knowing that you're sort of putting it on the lower side or even lower than what the range was, expecting to get so much higher, like now that's the bar that you're setting. Like the consumer doesn't know that you got 20 offers all over asking and is going for $100,000 over or whatever it is. They don't know that. All they see is that list price until it sells.
You're like, I love that house.
So now they're going into another house and saying, well, why was that one less? And this
but
is
I want
more,
that house.
I want that one.
I want that one for that price.
Well, that one's not available anymore. Would you like this one?
It's not available anymore. And B, it didn't go for that price, which is your price. But now their expectations are set that, well, I looked at that house and, they had put in a brand new range, a brand new refrigerator. I mean, these people, good for them. They prepped for over a year. My clients didn't really want to do that. They're in that position right now, which is fine. You decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. But now now we're juggling the market a little bit. Like, okay, well, maybe did we go on too high? Did we go, should we have shot, should we put it on lower and hope we got higher? Well, in this case, I don't think that would have worked for us. If we had gone on lower, I think we'd still be in the same boat we're on, or we would be way lower instead of higher because they decided, but now moving forward, having said that, we kind of had to pivot, and we had a really lovely conversation with them the other night and said, I think we might have to do a few things. If you want to get this type of money, I think we need to pivot here a little bit and do some painting, maybe update some of the wood that's kind of gone astray. And so they have buckled down. So the other night they took the pressure washer, and underneath they have the most beautiful mahogany roof under their farmer's porch. Like, it's
really?
It's the ceiling is mahogany.
I didn't even notice that when I walked in, when I got there.
It pops now. So he pressure washed it the other night, and you cannot believe the difference.
Really?
It is like
I'll have
night
to come
and
by
day.
again.
It is gorgeous. I'm like, oh my goodness. And he's super handy, and he replaced the lights underneath, and those are super bright now too. So you don't have, like, yes, good for the other people that did all those major changes and spent a ton of money to get the money that they got for their house, and good for them. But little things like this, you don't realize how much the buyer sees when they come walking through the door. Like, you say it and people are like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I'm like, I know, but your buyer is going to
It's
see
the first thing someone's going to say.
Exactly.
And you don't get a second chance at a first impression.
No, you don't. So now and we're in that position right now where they're going to do these changes, and I think it's going to make, a world of difference on this house. It's going to look, they're going to have it power washed. They're going to paint the trim. They're fixing some of the boards that needed to be replaced on the front. Jim and I live directly next door. So we go in through the garage, or we go in through the gate out in the pool area out back. We very rarely ever go in the front door. So Jim was over there the other night, and they were standing out front, and Jim was like, I'm really just did not realize that it really needed that punch. And I'm telling you, when he pressure washed that ceiling,
I gotta come back.
It looks like a million. It's just beautiful. It looks great. So.
I mean, because you had asked me for my honest feedback, and I had said, that your first impression is that front area. So so I'm so glad that you sort of took that feedback and was like, okay, we got to do something about it, because it is true. Like, and it happens with a lot of our clients where you don't typically use the front door, you use the side door, you go through the garage, you go through the back door, and so you got to take a walk around. And Sharon tells the story all the time of she happened to go in her side yard one day and noticed a huge crack all the way down her chimney that she's like, I never even go on that side of the house, so I would never have even seen it. I think maybe Marley had gone over there or something. So, chasing the dog, and was like, oh my gosh, what?
When did that happen?
Yeah. So, and we say all the time, like, take a walk around your house and just sort of really have, and here's the thing, everyone has pride of ownership, and nobody has an ugly baby is what Sharon says, but sometimes it needs a little
every day. You're living in your house every
sometimes
single
it needs
day.
a little Botox. Not a baby, a human. Oh, well, babies are humans, but a grown human. Babies aren't aliens.
They're
is what
not,
I'm saying.
It's what I'm saying. Okay. Yes. No.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just need a little,
a zhuzh.
A little zhuzh up.
Sometimes you need
a trip to the doctor.
A trip to the doctor.
See how their business is going. We're coming full circle here.
So yes, take a walk around your house. You just, and again, you live, and this is the other hard thing to do, especially when you're with friends. You go into somebody's house. This is their pride and joy. This is what they've lived in. They're so happy. I've spent hours and days at their house. Beautiful home. You just, not in my wildest dreams did I think we would be here at this point. I just thought it would. I'm so used to being there and loving their house, but you get used to everyday living, and you just don't see these things anymore. And then all of a sudden, when when other people are looking at your house critically because they want to buy it, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I never even saw that.
Yeah, I never even noticed that.
It never bothered me. It's something that never even jumped out at me.
Yeah.
And again, a gorgeous, I mean, the backyard is spectacular. They have a pool
well, I told you, as soon as you open the pool and it's nicer weather and, everything's in bloom, like that backyard's going to sell it.
Yep.
That's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You've been able to enjoy that lifestyle too.
Yes.
With them. So
yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful house. And again, you pick your time of the year, and sometimes, it's just before the trees start to pop, and they have some beautiful flowering trees in their yard that are now popping. So now, as their agent, I have to judge the listing a
Yeah.
bit. So we can get some of those people back in again
Yeah.
that says, hey, you looked at the house. If you haven't bought, you might want to come back because we've made some changes. You know,
Yeah,
the
that's great.
seller has decided to add paint, replace some boards. Some of the things that we didn't think were that big of a deal apparently are. So come on back.
We listened to your feedback,
We listened,
and
and I did
we
say
took
that
your
to them.
suggestions,
I said,
and
we were
here we
lucky because
are.
we did have some really great agents that showed the property that got back to me with feedback,
Yeah.
which was great because a lot of times they don't. And you're like out here.
They're just like, oh, my clients aren't interested. Well, why?
Why?
Like,
But
it would be really helpful.
you're not going to hurt my feelings. Just hit me right between the eyes. Tell me
I
exactly
always
what you
find that
didn't like.
interesting that like I mean, nobody is too busy to just say, hey, my clients, didn't love the layout. They didn't, think that you can't really change.
You can't change
but like,
that.
they didn't love the colors. Well, you can change the colors. Like,
Right.
Have you talked to your
If
clients
it's
about being able to
location, I
change
can't
the-
help you with that because I can't change the location. There are certain things on property you
Yeah.
just cannot
Yeah.
change. Location being the biggest of them all.
Yeah.
So, but if it's something that can be fixed, just tell me so that I can go back to my
Yeah.
seller. So at least I can have a reason why, this is why it's not selling. And in this case, pretty much everybody that walked in the front
Mhm.
stood for a good 2 to 5 minutes pointing, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, we've got this
Yeah.
is definitely
We gotta
this
do
is where the
something about
problem
it.
is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I think it's, really important for, buyers that are out there with their buyer's agent. Just be honest about, why you don't like a property because it only helps the market.
Yeah. Yep.
It helps the market in general. And I'm saying that because when you get honest feedback, that agent can then share it with their clients and, like in your case, make those necessary repairs in order to move forward and get the market moving.
Right. Yep. Get people back in, get
Yeah.
things moving along. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that's what's going to happen. So now in mine, I'm judging the listing. I'm going to go back in, take some new photographs, fluff up my listing, put some things in like under construction. This listing is under construction. Step back.
Come look at the mahogany
Come look at the
wood.
mahogany wood. When I'm telling you, I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
See, I didn't even notice that. My
Beautiful.
eyes weren't going up. I was looking down.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
shiplap mahogany
Wow.
on the. It's
I wish I'd
so
seen that,
pretty. Yeah,
but I'm
really,
gonna see
really
it
beautiful.
soon.
Yeah, really, really pretty.
So how can people see that listing?
Oh, you can give us a call anytime. You can reach me at 617-620-8484 or Jim at 617-842-4019. It's kind of a hike for us to get there, but we'd be happy to meet you right next door. I say that to everybody. We've had a few agents who are like, well, what if we can't get there by here? I'm like, you could call me literally 2.5 minutes before you arrive and I will meet you there. So
Yeah, you just need enough time to put your shoes on.
pretty much. And even then I'd probably go barefoot.
Some
Knowing
flip-flops.
me. I throw some flip-flops on and walk over next door. But yeah, so we are around. The house is available to be seen anytime. If you were one of the lucky people who saw it originally and now want to come back and take another peek at it, we'd love to have you back. They are doing some upgrades. They listened to what was being said and they're going to do a few things and, we're going to get it moving for them. So
somebody had actually said something to me last night and they didn't ask me, oh, how's the market? They said to me, hey, like what's going on? I feel like I don't see many listings. And I was like, interesting. Because I felt the same way until Ginny Wendell walked into my office yesterday and she goes, okay, I got to get my buyers off the fence because 16 properties just came on in their price range. I go, what? But
Whoa.
we'll table that for a second because I heard the phone ring.
Yes, you did. You heard the phone ring.
Yay.
Yes. Correct.
Who do we have?
Well, you have one of the people I think you're expecting is Trish in Bridgewater.
Oh, Trish Flynn.
Trish Flynn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good morning.
Thanks for calling in.
Oh, how's the market?
Yeah. How's the market?
How's the market?
I'm going to ask you, Trish, how's the market for you?
Oh, for my buyers, it's brutal.
Yeah.
I have a set of buyers that are 450 and a set of buyers that are 622 offers.
Wow.
It's just it's been that's been wild.
It's been wild.
It has been a little
that price range, that
That's
4 to
tough.
6, 4 to 7 price range is
There was even
Oof.
one point where you couldn't even find anything for $1 million. Like, how do you not find something for $1 million?
Yeah.
But Trish, before we get into our discussion, why don't you reintroduce yourselves to all of our listeners, because you've been on the show with us before, but give them a little shout out.
Sure. I am Trish Flynn. I work with my husband, Nick Flynn. We do real estate at Boston Connect. So I've been doing it 15 years. Nick's been with me 6 or 7 years. We do it full time every day, 24/7.
Every day. Get your real estate license, Trish. It's super easy. Sell a couple of houses. It's super fun.
It's so fun.
Get your real estate license.
We were talking earlier about how we just never know what day it is. So we're lucky we show up to where we're supposed to. They all blend together. But I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your listing in Bridgewater.
Yeah. So we have a new construction, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, mudroom. It is 2 Fontana Way. It's a new street. If you GPS 385 North Street, you will find the entrance to the street. There's going to be 3 homes in total. This is the first one. It's lovely. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna say 92% done.
Wow.
Just waiting on landscaping, the concrete walkways, the driveway, those things, just because the weather's been a little wonky.
Yeah.
So
God, the rain
unpredictable.
The rain has
very
been terrible.
Unpredictable. It's been stopping everything.
Not
All
wet
you
enough to
sports,
put out my fire, but
oh,
whatever.
Yeah.
Not wet enough for my fire, but okay.
Tracy, that I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, that was a classic. It's a classic. And Jim, I won't even use the word he said. It was not.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It was like
God.
go.
Yeah.
We got to get outside. Hardwood
Well,
floors
at least we can
throughout.
laugh about it. It was
Exactly. Hardwood floors throughout, Trish. When you're listing,
floors throughout. Yep. The bedrooms, they have not. They're leaving it. If the buyer wants to upgrade to hardwood, they
I love
can.
that.
Wow.
Or carpet would be put in, but they can pick the carpet.
Any
and
other
that's really
finishes?
it.
Is that it?
The
Finishes.
We've got quartz countertop, fireplace, mantle. Like, it's all pretty. I love the layout of this house. So it's like all usable space that
it's
you
really
need, but
I
it's
love
not
that.
like huge.
Yeah.
No, it's
like
not.
you have your open kitchen, living room, dining room, but then you have like 2 other like flex rooms on the first floor, which is perfect for a home office or a playroom for the kids or an extra bedroom. We are on sewerage, so if you needed to
That's huge.
add another bedroom, you absolutely could. The mudroom is my absolute favorite room in the house.
Wow.
It is huge. It has a built-in bench. It's like super stylish.
It's a drop zone,
The
Trish.
builder's heartwood.
It's the new
What's that?
term. It's the new term. It's the drop zone. The mudroom is now the drop zone. It's where you drop your bags, you drop your shoes.
You need it.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's the best part. I agree with you. It's the best part of the house, the mudroom.
Really?
It's my favorite. Yeah, because I never had that. Like, it's a place to put your shoes. Here's another little tip too for having a drop zone or a mudroom like at that house is it keeps your hardwood floors really nice. That listing I have it in Hanover, their hardwood floors are beautiful because they take their shoes off downstairs on their way in and drop them in the mudroom. My floors look horrible because I wear my shoes all the time throughout the house. Theirs looks amazing because they don't wear their shoes in the house.
Really?
I thought it would have
hadn't
nothing.
even thought about. I
Me
hadn't even
either.
thought about that.
No, drop zone. That's the new term for the mudroom is a drop zone.
I know.
I love it.
I used to have one, and I don't have one. I have like a little, like I'm going to say, like a 4x4 area, and the dropping starts trickling out onto my
spreads
wood floors. And I'm like, guys, keep it on the brick.
Yeah,
keep it on the brick. Let's go.
I love that you said you talked about the space only because with new construction, when it's not staged, it can be like hard for people to imagine, oh, what could I do with this space? What could I, it's like sometimes people don't have vision and you have to sort of guide them and be like, oh, well, this is a perfect, great, like, place for, a sitting area or a dining area, or, this is a great, we had one time, one of the sort of odd rooms on the first floor. They were like, oh, I could put my dog in there. This could be my dog's bedroom. I was like, oh, this is fabulous.
Lucky dog.
Lucky dog. But I do love. Yeah, I do love that you mentioned that because, every sort of square inch is sort of accounted for, and this would be a great area for this. So I love that because sometimes people don't have vision.
No, and the outside of that house is beautiful. It's like a modern farmhouse style.
Yeah.
I love
that.
and it sits great on the lot. I love it. Yeah, it's a pretty house.
It's a great lot. It's
I
so
saw
nice
pictures.
and level.
Yep.
And a side entry garage. It's awesome. It's actually the builder's own home that he built it for himself first, and he's like, okay, I gotta improve this. Like, I wish my mudroom was bigger. I have a mudroom now. That's gigantic.
I love that.
So it's like we're getting smarter as we go. Like, okay,
you
how
learn.
can we do this better? All right.
You absolutely learn from one to the
build this
next. Yeah,
Yeah.
every time you build it.
Exactly.
Yep.
I love that he had built it for himself and was like, okay, if I was to do this again, I would make, the mudroom or what'd you say, the drop zone?
Drop zone.
Drop zone bigger. I would do this. Like, I love that because you really do learn as you go. And, the more houses that builders build, and the more feedback, here we going back to feedback, is okay, this would be a really great place for a pantry. This is a really great place for a walk-in closet, or, you should have the door this way and stuff like that. So, and I love that about new construction because it only gets better.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. You learn.
It really does.
Yep. You definitely learn as you go along and like, oh, that didn't work out very well. Let's try to retweak that one or make the deck bigger. I don't think you can have a big enough deck.
No. Trish, are you doing an open house over at Fontana this weekend?
We are today from 12 to 1.
Wow.
I hope the rain stops.
Oh, yeah. Is it raining right now? Oh, yeah, it is. I can see it.
It is where we are.
Yeah, I can see. I just turned around. I see.
bad.
Anybody's watching us on Facebook, I switched seats. Sharon and I switched seats. So sometimes I'm like, hello?
I feel a little off today because I usually sit
yeah.
on that side. I very rarely sit over here. I'm like, wow, I feel a little
Everyone just watched me do the robot too. I was like, hello? But okay, so give the address one more time, when your open house is, and how can people get in touch with you if they want to schedule a private showing?
Yes, it is 2 Fontana Way in Bridgewater. Once again, if you GPS 385 North Street, you will find the location. And we will be there from 12 to 1. And if you needed to set up a private tour, you can give us a call at 781-223-3286. Once again, 781-223-3286.
Perfect. Well, good luck today, and I hope your phone is ringing off the hook
I hope
after this.
Exactly. I hope it's ringing off the hook and you have lots of people through.
Lots of people through. So get it while it lasts because it's going to be gone soon, people.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful home.
Honestly.
Yeah, it is a beautiful home, and you'll be the first of the 3. So how perfect is that? Right?
Well, that's what people need to learn. Like, the first one in gets the best deal.
Yeah. Yep. The early bird gets the worm, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Because it's going to go up from there. Yeah. Because it's going to go up from there. Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Trish. Enjoy your day, and good luck at your open house.
Thank you. Talk to you ladies soon.
Bye.
Bye, Trish.
Bye.
That was Trish Flynn, full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, with her husband, Nick. They make up the Flynn team, Team Flynn.
Team Flynn.
And I think we have another caller.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Live from Hanson.
Live from Hanson.
It's Faith Birmingham.
Hello, Faith Birmingham.
Good morning, ladies.
Good
morning, Faith. Faith is a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and she has a listing in Halifax that I asked her to call in and give a little shout out to. But Faith, why don't you introduce yourselves to all of our listeners?
Sure. My name is Faith Birmingham. I am a full-time realtor with Boston Connect. Been with Boston Connect, I think we're approaching 2.5 years now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Been doing real estate coming up on my 5th year and loving it.
Perfect. Yeah. So, and you do a lot with new construction too. So you do some new construction with Sharon and Mary, their new construction development over in Hanson. You live in Hanson, correct?
I sure do.
Yeah, you do. And you have a new listing, or you have a listing in Halifax. So why don't you give that a little shout out to everybody who's listening?
Yeah. So 85 Summit Street. It is a spectacular property. It is an antique cape, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths in the main home. And in 2015, a 36 by 24 true in-law was added on. So it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom in-law with an open floor plan with kitchen, dining, living. Oops, sorry. Vacuum's going off. Moving to another room. Little background noise. And so the main home, they are attached.
Mm-hmm.
So the in-law has its own private driveway, separate from the main home, which has its driveway. So it's kind of like a little farm.
Yeah.
So there's on the property there are 4 outbuildings. One of them is a 2-car garage. We've got a large 3-bay shed. We've got animal stables, which
wow, I didn't even know that.
The current owners raised chickens and goats, and the prior owners had horses, and pigs. So the stables are set up for animals, and there is a barn. Well, I call it a barn, but you could easily fit 3 to 4 vehicles inside, which has its own driveway as well. So, I mean, if somebody didn't want to have animals but had maybe a small business that, they needed to store, if they were a plumber or electrician.
I was going to say it'd be great for a contractor. Yeah.
It'd be great because
great
it's got
for a contractor.
its own private driveway. You're not really impeding on your space. Let's see. There's a in-ground saltwater pool out back. The oldest tree in Halifax, it's approximately 350 years old. It's a gorgeous maple tree.
Wow.
There's gardens and fruit trees and.
Oh, nice property.
I'd be asking everybody, would you like to own the oldest oak tree in Halifax?
Maple.
Maple?
Yeah,
maple. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And actually, the owners tap it every spring.
Oh my gosh, how fun!
Oh, that is.
It's really a spectacular property.
Do they sell it on the side of the road too? I would.
No,
I would buy maple syrup.
They just do it
more for fun.
Give it as gifts for friends and family.
That's awesome. I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's and then the main home has it's a typical Cape layout. 3 bedrooms upstairs with a beautiful renovated bathroom and a walk-in closet off of that. And then the kitchen is kind of 2 parts. So in one area, you've got your big, huge family island, an old cast iron sink, double sinks, I guess is what you'd call it, and your cooktop. And then around the corner is a little bit, all the rest of it. So your refrigerator, your dishwasher, a beverage refrigerator, and your wall oven with soapstone counters and sinks.
Wow.
And that overlooks the breakfast room, which is just all windows and just have the most beautiful views of the backyard.
It sounds like a very nice retreat to have at home.
Definitely does.
I mean, why would anyone need to leave?
I don't think you do.
No, you have everything right at home.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
Yeah, we love that. Are you doing an open house this weekend?
I sure am. I'm going to be there today from 1 to 3.
Perfect.
And I invite everybody to stop by and see it in person.
How can everybody get in touch with you in case they can't make it to your open house, but they want to schedule a private showing?
Yes, of course. So my phone number is 781-831-2692. Again, 781-831-2692. Or they could email me at faith@bostonconnect.com.
Perfect. Well, good luck today. I hope, again, just like Trish. Just like Trish, I hope everyone is ringing your phone nonstop today with this.
Faith in faith.
Oh, yes, we do have faith in faith. We do have faith in faith. That is for sure. Well, good luck. And I, like I said, I hope your phone's ringing off the hook today. But it's a beautiful property. Right. It literally has everything that anybody could need. Yeah. I mean, why would you need to leave?
Nope, you don't really need.
You really don't.
So if you need anything, go to this house.
If you need anything today, maple syrup.
If you need anything
veggies,
today,
a fainting goat.
go see Faith. Oh my gosh. Again, that's 85 Summit Street in Halifax. She's going to be there from 1 to 3 today. Thank you so much, Faith, for calling in.
Thank you, ladies.
All right.
Bye, Faith.
Enjoy your day.
You too.
Oh, yeah. So that was Faith Birmingham, full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate. And I just wanted the show to just be a humble brag for everybody and just talk about your listings. Why don't you give your addresses again and how people can get in touch with you before we wrap it up for the day?
Yep. So we have 49 Waterford Drive on the market in Hanover, 4-bedroom colonial, beautiful backyard, pool house, amazing pool area out back. On the market. And we also have a lot 2 Elm Place new construction home right down the street from us in Hanson. Again, 4-bedroom colonial, 2.5 bath, beautiful. That also has a great mudroom right off the garage drop zone right off the garage.
That reminds me of like Universal Studios or like Disney. It was like drop zone.
Yeah, it's like you're entering the drop zone. Yeah.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, buttercup. So, and you can get in touch with us. You can get in touch with me, Tracy, at 617-620-8484 or Jim at 617-842-4019 or Tracy, Tracy, at bostonconnect.com or Jim at bostonconnect.com. Again, both of those properties are literally right in my backyard.
Yeah.
One is. And the other is right down the street. So there's 2.5 minute notice anytime. Yeah. Just give us a call.
She'll throw her flip-flops on and she'll meet you there.
I will meet you there in a heartbeat. So if any information, or if you just need to get some information on either one of the properties, just give us a call or send us an email.
Yeah. Do you think people tend to do you think people prefer to go to open houses or have private showings?
You know, and that goes so up and down. Like right now, it's open houses. Yeah. It's not private showings. It's open houses. I think people just like to be able to go through, look without, somebody. I tend not to breathe down people's neck. Anyway, you let them walk around with their agent and get a feel for the property and just be there to answer questions. But I think sometimes people just like to come in bulk and just walk through, look, see if it's something they're interested in and not feel the pressure. So right now, open houses have been the way to go.
With open houses, you can also see what the activity is as well. Yeah. So it drove me absolutely bonkers when I was looking for a house where like they would hold all showings until the open house. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Because then you create this frenzy and it just drove me nuts. That's what I didn't like about looking at houses for myself.
Yep.
But I did like going to open houses if, they had showings beforehand because, maybe it wasn't as busy, but you still get that feel of like, what's the activity on this? And then with all of my private showings, I pretty much invited people to my showings, like whether it was you, whether it was Sharon, Mary, Kristen went to a lot of them. Like I remember leaving a private showing with Kristen and we're walking. She's like, let's walk the neighborhood. And she just turns to me and she goes, I would never let you live here. I was like, okay.
This is not the one.
Okay.
This is not the one. We've had that conversation with many people like, okay, you're not buying this. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She was like, you're not buying this.
No,
I'm like, okie. But you know what? That walking the neighborhood as well made me realize like, okay, so yeah, the neighborhood is just, it wasn't for me. And so anything that sort of came up in that area, I was like, I had already been like, okay, no, because I've already eliminated the first one. Why would this one be any different?
It's not going to be any different. It's in the same neighborhood.
Yeah. But yeah, and like I said, well, you said it sways like whether people really like to do the private showings or go to the open houses and stuff like that. But like we said earlier, give honest feedback.
Just give honest feedback. They want to hear it. Even sometimes when it's hard to hear.
Yeah.
You still need to have that because you need to be able to go back to your seller and be like, okay, this is what they didn't like about it. And then what ends up happening is, and in our case here, like it was the same thing every single time. So it's like, we need to take this off the plate. We need to get rid of this as a objection. We need to make this positive. So that's what we're doing right now, is turning it into a beautiful positive. As I said, cannot believe the difference with just pressure washing, just power washing.
I'm gonna come by and see it. I'm going to stop by and say, hi, I'd like to have a showing in 2.5 minutes.
Hold on, I got to get my flip-flops
Hold on. Gosh. Are you working with any buyers right now?
I am not working with any buyers right now. No,
oh, wow. I feel like that's different for you.
I know. We usually have a couple of buyers in the works, and I shouldn't say that. We have a few that are out there that are looking
on the fence.
Yeah, they're just on the fence. They have a property they need to sell, but it's ready to go at any time. But it's kind of in that Trish price range.
Yeah.
Where it's just
there's so
really
much competition.
hard. Yeah, there's so much competition out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, getting back to what Jenny Wandell had said to me yesterday was, there's 16 properties. I go, what? I go, where are they looking? 16 properties.
Yeah.
It is sort of
like,
widespread.
do they have a broad scope?
Yeah. But I was like, wow, you might have a chance with 16 to choose from. That's for sure. But and if you didn't, wow.
Yeah.
What a market that would be.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Putting in 16 offers in that, wow, that's a lot. But I forgot where I was going with that one. Oh yeah. So part of the question that I got asked was, with, how's it going? I haven't seen anything on the market.
How's the market?
And their sort of thing was, oh, well, I heard from, my parents, I heard from this person, somebody who might not be in the industry, but, there are some people who are nervous about what's going on in the world. And
that's definitely, we've had that conversation with our sellers as well, is that, there's a lot going on right now, whatever your politics are, it doesn't really matter. Any kind of a change in the economy system, whether it be the stock market going up, coming down, tariffs, trades, whatever, it's going to impact the market. It is. People get nervous. They're going to wait, not make a major change.
Well, and I also know a couple clients who have lost their jobs, recently within the past couple months. So the unknown or the uncertainty could cause somebody to pause for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's another factor. But we sort of always feel that, and like I said, it's getting off the fence when you're comfortable.
Right. You have to be ready, and you have to be prepared. As a buyer, you really need to be prepared before you go out there. Have your ducks in a row, have your financing set up, talk to your mortgage broker. It's never, ever, I say this to people all the time, it is never too early to make the phone call to your mortgage broker.
Yeah.
Because even if you're not in a financial position to do it, they can help you get to that financial. They'll help you make decisions, good decisions. Don't buy the new car if you really want to buy a house in the next year. Don't, don't be getting yourself into debt if you're trying to do this. Pay this off. Don't pay that off. They will help you in that process.
I say it all the time that when I set up my meeting with Jasmine, so Jasmine Glasgow with Maritime Mortgage, I'd set up the meeting with her fully intending to go in there and be like, okay, she's going to tell me what I need to do. And she was like, no, you're already there. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get it going.
Oh, it's the music already.
Why don't you give your contact information one more time for our listeners?
Here we are. Tracy Grady, 617-620-8484, or Tracy, Tracy, at BostonConnect.com.
If you didn't catch that, you can go to BostonConnect.com. We have a brand new website. It's beautiful. So stop by and let's take a peek around. Again, BostonConnect.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back next Saturday.
Yay. Thanks, Tim.
Bye, Tim.
Bye. You're welcome.
Beautiful day.
Would you? Melissa, I resent the show to you. Just text me if you didn't get it, and I'll send it a third time.
Okay, perfect.
You're welcome.
Oh, yep, I got it. Thank you.
Oh, we were wonderful.
I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood